What is going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about PJ Washington potentially signing the qualifying offer. Nothing is set in stone yet. There is a report, and I'll put the report on the screen, that PJ Washington is more than willing to just sign the qualifying offer and get his money next year. And there's good and bad in that. I know there's a lot of people who don't like PJ and say he's not good. I will say this time and time again because I am a big advocate of PJ, but I'm also a realist at the same time. But PJ Washington has been asked to play, how long he's been in the league? 4 years, 5 years? Every single year, 4 years. Every single year. Is it 4? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 4. But anyway, every single year he's been asked to play a different position. We had 1 year where he was basically the center. We've had him play power forward. We've had him play like a small forward. We've had him play, hey, we need you to score. We need you to be the defense. He's always asked to do something completely different than what his last ask was. And while the NBA is all about adjusting, the NBA is all about finding what you're good at and sticking to that to stay in the league, when you're asked to constantly do different things, it's going to be hard to develop those skills at one way or another. I think PJ I think he has the potential, man. We've seen him drop 44. We've seen him, I wouldn't say lock up Giannis, but we've seen him make Giannis' life difficult. We've seen him do a lot of different things. And it's just, I think they're expecting him to do everything. That's just not the type of player he is. Now, I have no idea what kind of money he's asking for. I do think if he's asking over anything, $20 million, it's not worth it. But I will say that also there's a part where you do have to keep your assets. So yes, PJ may not be worth 20, but you might have to pay it. One, we're a medium market team. Like, I don't think people understand that. Talent just doesn't flock here. And then we don't have the best draft history. So I think that's part of it, is that people got to understand that we might have to keep him or pay him extra money, because it's not like we have talent come through often. And then also, if we lose him for nothing, that's way worse. So at least you sign him for 20. I think that's a very tradable deal. I personally do, especially the way the money's tossed out, particularly this offseason. But we know it's going to be continuously doing that, in later off seasons. So his deal will eventually look like a steal, even though even now I wouldn't say it looks like a steal, but it will be on contract watch as, okay, as soon as he signed it, this really could be a steal. So I think that's something people have to think about. But like I said, I will say that PJ hasn't quite been exactly where you want him to be, and that's why I don't think he's worth the $20 million, but I also don't even know what he's asking for. So there's that. Now, the good thing to think about is that if PJ takes the qualifying offer, plays this season, Hornets still are kind of like, if they do something with Terry, which they 100% should, you have 2 max spots next offseason. One automatically goes to Miles. More than likely, if Miles balls out, one will go to Miles. And then you have the space for another one. And then at that time, you'll have point guard. We can use small forward maybe for Miles. Let's just say Miles at small forward. Brandon Miller at the 2. Mark Williams at the 5. You have another max spot. And you could use that on a power forward. So this is the thing. I think if that's what the Hornets are going, I think it can make sense. I think it could. I got to look at a free agency class next year, but I think it could make sense. I think it could work. The issue becomes, is that what they're thinking? Because if you're just going to play around with PJ and not really try to bring him back, he has a decent year. You don't sign him after, giving him a qualifying offer, and now you just let him walk, then it doesn't make any sense if you're not looking to bring in somebody or make a trade for somebody. Because at that point, I think you have enough little tiny pieces to maybe possibly make a trade. It could get really dicey really fast. You could play this right, and it looks great. This whole PJ fiasco, I think you can make it look great, especially if you don't have an intentions of bringing him back next year. That opens up a max spot. But if you lose him, or even lose Miles, but keep Pete, like it can go bad in so many ways, more ways that it can go good. I think that's what people need to understand mostly, is that the Hornets could really mess this up. Because if you lose BJ and Miles, it's just all obsolete and it doesn't matter, because now we got a whole team to figure out. I don't expect Brandon Miller to be where Miles Bridges is now, or what we hope he is now, after one season. That's just too much. That's asking for too much. Mark Williams, I think, will be further along, but will he be like that guy as far as, oh, he's averaging 20? I don't know. It's just it can get bad real fast. So I think the Hornets just need to do what they got to do. I would rather bring PJ back long term just because of the fact that I do think he can be tradable. It's not like he's a bad player. I do think he can be traded, but I also think he's not that bad of a player, especially considering what is the other option. I think that's what some people have to think about. When Grant Williams was available, it was like, I still rather have PJ, but I'm not mad at Grant Williams, someone who literally can guard 1 through 5. PJ, we lose him for nothing. It's just there is no other option. JT Thor, who not playing in the summer league and probably should, and I think he wanted to. So it's just. There's so much. It's not as simple. The Hornets have not put themselves in a situation where it's not as simple as we're just re-signing PJ or we're not re-signing PJ. This can mean so much more because you could lose Miles Bridges and PJ in the same offseason. Now what? You sign LaMelo to this extension. You're paying him all this money. He has no talent around him. So now you're just giving him free money, essentially, to lose. And that's not his fault because you messed up the team. And they're not a type of team to make big moves. Now, new ownership, we could see something different. But it's just in the past, it just hasn't happened. And it won't be easy, even if the new ownership's like, hey, we've fumbled all this. Let's do what we can, revamp this team. It's just, do you really believe, or can you really believe, rather, that new ownership can do that in such a short notice? Because, I mean, it's a year, but a year, all things considered, you just coming in, you have to kind of revamp this team and keep this team from going back into purgatory. It's just not easy. It's not an easy task. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. But yeah, I mean, the PJ Washington, I think it just means so much more than just re-signing him or not re-signing him. It could really make or break the team. And not necessarily that move, but that move coupled with losing Miles Bridges, not getting rid of Terry Rozier. Like, there's just so much that could happen that move could really impact the team, and we could be right back where we started. And then you really have to worry about LaMelo leaving. And I wouldn't blame him. Like, they're no longer putting talent around him. So I think at least the Miles thing will get done. Then we'll have to see like the whole Terry and open up another max space. That's kind of iffy. I just don't trust the Hornets to be that intuitive. But I think that's the right idea. But I just don't trust the Hornets to do that. But we'll see. They might prove me wrong. But anyway, that does it for this video. I will continue releasing out content. Thank you so much for getting me to where I am. We're going for 2,000 next. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.